This is Center 4, Weather and Water for ELF at Mitchell Elementary with our dear Emmy here to lead us through Center 4.
This center is blowing in the wind. And in this center, you're going to experiment with determining wind direction and wind speed. You're going to learn how wind affects the weather. And you're going to build an anemometer. And hopefully learn how to say that word 20 times fast. No, just kidding. So, part 1 is wind direction. And for wind direction, you're going to set up a fan and you're going to turn it on. And then the kids will each have flags where they can take turns using a flag and put it in front of the fan. If it's a really windy day outside, you could use the wind outside too. And ask them, and it should be demonstrating that this is the wind and this is a way to tell which direction the wind is coming from. So if we know what direction the wind is coming from, which we can figure that out using a compass, and it's coming from, I don't know.
It's coming from the south.
It's coming from the south, there we go. Then you can tell what kind of weather it's going to be. For instance, if the wind is coming from the west, it usually indicates fair weather. But if it's coming from the east, it indicates a storm is on its way. You can ask the kids to brainstorm things they've seen around that tell the direction of the weather, which would include weather vanes on the top of buildings, maybe on the top of their own house. And you can even have them relate back. If they ever watch the weather on TV, they always tell you what direction, how fast the wind's going and what direction it's coming from. So that part is wind direction. Then the next part is wind speed. So we're going to turn this on at low speed and notice that the flag is not as straight as it was, right? You can see that. But if I turn it on to higher speed, then there's more force that moves the object. And so so after you do that quick little demonstration of wind speed with the fan and the flag, you can get out the Beaufort wind scale. And the Beaufort wind scale is used to describe how fast the wind is blowing and what force is behind it. So it goes from 0, which is calm, less than 1 mile per hour, up to hurricane strength wind, which is anything over 73 miles per hour. And you can talk about, just recently, I think we've had some pretty, I'd say moderate to fresh gale winds have occurred this winter around here.
And there's little pictographs there to kind of show you.
To kind of describe what it might be. And you might ask the kids if you go outside with them, what kind of wind do you think there is out today? Is it a calm one or a light air one or a fresh breeze, or is it a gale force wind? So this is really important in being able to determine wind speed in a scientific manner. Then, after you've gone through wind speed and wind direction, you're going to build an anemometer. And for everybody, I would suggest have the kids write the word anemometer on here, because that's going to be a hard word to remember what it is. And then have them write their name on the back. That way you can get it home. And to build it, you're going to take the Dixie cups and you'll staple them in, and there's a pattern. It shows you on the handout what direction to staple the cups in. And then you'll take a push pin and put it through the paper plate, put it on your paint stick, and I do it just so it's barely poking out the back. You don't want it too pokey so people aren't getting hurt, but then enough to keep it in. And then, if the wind's blowing, you could go outside and use them, or the kids could even, wait, this is better.
Oh, yes.
Use your own wind speed, your own hot air to demonstrate how it works. So this could be hooked up to a tool that would then measure it, or the number of rotations would tell you what the wind speed was. And that's your anemometer.
Anemometer, easy for us to say.
There you go. So yeah, so overall, you're basically experimenting with wind direction, wind speed, and you're learning how the wind affects the weather. And that's pretty much Center 4.
Okay, if you're running low on any supplies, please email us at mitchellelf@gmail.com. Emmy thought maybe she'd make a different flag, so don't be surprised if there's an elf flag rather than a red, white, and blue flag. And you might want to consider using, if you're cutting the center, you might want to build this craft at the conclusion as the whole class. We'll talk more about that in the conclusion center later. Thank you.